This is 6 News at 6.
Good evening. A spectacular general alarm fire in Dighton this afternoon. A middle school there is apparently a total loss. But amazingly, almost 250 students, teachers, and staff members inside got out safely. Sean Daly joins us live from the scene. Sean, what does this mean for the classes there tomorrow that the safety issues will be resolved?
Yes, well, what it means for tomorrow for the classes, Dave, is that there will be no classes for tomorrow. And the question tonight really is, when will there be classes and where will there be classes? A meeting is set for later tonight to nail all of that down. The fire broke out around 1:30, just before school would have ended for the day anyway. A custodian says he raced to the attic after a heat sensor went off, indicating trouble there.
There's like a little loft there. When I got near the loft, I could see already the flames shooting up. There was about, I'd say, a good 8 feet already, and I couldn't even get in there with a fire extinguisher if I wanted to. Then I ran down. I was telling them everybody to get out, run out. And that was it. I was pushing kids out of there, you know. I didn't want to push them, but I mean, hey, I could just visualize that whole ceiling just falling in on them, and that was it.
All of a sudden, the fire alarm went off, and everybody was out. Everybody was jumping up and down saying, hooray, hooray, no school for a month. But other people were crying.
Hooray, hooray, what?
All the teachers were crying. Mr. Sweat, the principal, he was all upset. He was swearing up and down. And we all went over to the town hall.
And the alarm went off, and I thought it was strange that they were having a fire drill on in this kind of weather. And the teacher across the hall said, "This is for real." And everybody filed out. All the kids got out safely in pretty rapid time. And next thing we know, we saw smoke coming out of the roof.
There's a lot of proud memories in that building, and it's a landmark for this town.
At one time, I'm told this was, what, the town hall, the police station, the high school?
That's correct.
You name it, huh?
All wrapped up into one. So there's a lot of proud memories.
Tonight, it's unclear what caused the fire, but it is clear already that this building is a total loss. No chance, I'm told, of rebuilding. Dave?
At them to get out, get out, get out.
And as the children and teachers got out of the building without incidents, the firefighters went in. They came from Raynham, Dartmouth, Seekonk, Acushnet, and Dighton, and even as far away as Westport. The bottom line, though, is it was a difficult fire to fight. What was your biggest problem in putting this thing out?
Getting to it. There was only one doorway to the attic. It was impossible to go from the inside, and when it finally broke through the roof, and this is what you see.
And as the firefighters' work winds down and the mop-up procedure begins, school officials this evening are going to try to figure out what to do next. They're considering several options, but the first thing they've stated is that obviously school is canceled tomorrow.
A number of options. There are options available to us at the high school, the regional high school. There are options available in facilities. We'll be looking at all of those possibilities as a way of resuming school location.
Now, that school official told us that they are going to be meeting at about 8 o'clock to try to come up with some contingency plans for resuming school somewhere, sometime. Also, a footnote to this whole thing, the cause of the fire is still very much up in the air at this hour. We will have more on the cause, and we'll also have more on that scheduled meeting tonight at 8 o'clock. We'll have all that coming your way tonight on the Night Report. In the meantime, reporting live, Ken Malloy, Newswatch 10.
Thank you, Ken. Inside the Dighton Middle School.
Within a matter of minutes, over 200 students were evacuated safely, but the roof of the building was engulfed in flames. Over a half-dozen fire departments responded to the smoky blaze. Some are still on the scene at this hour. Classes have been canceled for the middle school and for the kindergarten tomorrow, but not for the elementary school, which is housed in a separate building. News 10's Ken Malloy has more on the fire and the problems it's presented to the Dighton School Board.
While firefighters mopped up the charred remains of the Dighton Middle School, school board officials met in a special emergency closed-door session. They need a building, and they're exploring close to a dozen options. But even when they find a building, there are books to replace, chairs, computers, and the list goes on.
We're going to ask for help. We're going to ask for help from neighboring school districts. We're going to ask for help from publishers who've been supplying us. We're going to reach out and ask for assistance in getting us back on our feet for the time being.
Bill Raposa is the custodian at school. He's the one who discovered the blaze in the attic after an alarm went off. When you saw the flames, what did you think?
What I thought was the place is going. This is it. It's history. Because I knew if this place ever got on fire, they wouldn't be able to save it.
You couldn't have asked for much more manpower in fighting this particular blaze. One phone call went out, one mutual aid phone call. It summoned half a dozen fire departments from the surrounding community. Their biggest problem, however, was gaining access to where the fire was. The fire was in the attic. There is no attic left.
There was only one doorway to the attic. It was impossible to go from the inside, and when it finally broke through the roof, and this is what you see.
Ken Malloy, Newswatch 10. The biggest problem, however, was gaining access to where the fire was. The fire was in the attic. There is no attic left.
There was only one doorway to the attic. It was impossible to go from the inside, and when it finally broke through the roof, and this is what you see.
Ken Malloy, Newswatch 10, Dighton.
The cause of the fire is still under investigation. The building, which was built in 1934, was insured and in the past was the town hall, the police department, and the high school. Authorities have closed...
Yet what it was that set the fire off.
When I got near the loft, I could see already the flames shooting up. There was about, I might say, a good 8 feet already, and I couldn't even get in there with a fire extinguisher if I wanted to. Then I ran down. I was telling them everybody to get out, run out. And that was it. I was pushing kids out of there, you know.
So again, middle school and kindergarten classes are canceled until further notice. By the way, the school committee will be holding an emergency public meeting, and the 8th grade might be moved to the high school. But again, at this point, these are just some options.
Loss of their school. This raging blaze, captured by a Newshawk photographer, gutted the 3-story middle school this afternoon. But luckily, all 217 students were safely evacuated and there were no injuries. School has been canceled for tomorrow while officials decide where classes will be held after that.
This afternoon,
students were safely evacuated and there were no injuries. School has been canceled for tomorrow while officials decide where classes will be held after that.
This afternoon, the blaze broke out about 1:30 in the 3rd floor storage area. All 217 students and the entire staff were safely evacuated. No word yet on where classes will be held.
Students were safely evacuated within minutes of that blaze. A custodian discovered the flames in the attic. Investigators are looking into the possibility that the cause could be electrical. Officials hope to resume classes on Thursday at the high school or the local church.
We'll build things to last.
There will be no school for the rest of the week for middle school and kindergarten students in Dighton. Fire investigators have been on the scene of the burned-out middle school in Dighton throughout the day today. Now, they're still trying to find out what caused yesterday's fire that sent hundreds of students and teachers running for their lives. Fortunately, nobody was injured. In the meantime, middle school students are back in school finally after a devastating fire at their school last week, but they're in another community. Students are now going to the Pottersville School in Somerset. All this began this morning. School officials say the class has started without a hitch for the 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. The Pottersville School building has been vacant now for about a year and a half, and so it was available. As for the fire, so far no cause has been determined, but officials believe...
The fall school system needs $2 million.